here. I talk a lot about going through your project guidelines and rubric first and foremost to understand the assignment. And so that is still true. Please make sure that you are reading through all of this information to know what you're going to write about. Okay? Now, we have milestone one job description template. You all filled this out already. You are not going to turn in this. Okay? The first thing I want to make sure that you understand is this week you are going to turn in one paper. Okay? That paper, just like the paper in milestone one, is a recruitment and retention package. You are going to turn in one document where you are going to compile the information that you put together. Some of you sent in multiple documents last week. That is not what you want to do. Those templates were created for you to put together the the job description. They were just there to give you a framework to create it. And then you were to take that and drop it into the template. Okay? So this is where I want to start with everybody today. If you did it right last week, I still want you to watch this video because it's very important because there are some distinct changes that you are going to have to make to the first three sections of your old milestone one paper. You are still going to use some of that information, but you are going to now add to those sections. Okay? So please stick with me for the next 10 minutes while I go over the differences. So what I've done here is I have done a save as. So I'm going to go ahead and open the template back up just so that you can see. This is the template that I provided you all with back in module 2. And so this is the one where I went through and I just basically took the assignment criteria and dropped it into the APA format to make it easy for you all so that as you do your papers throughout the rest of the term, you would have a nice solid template to utilize and you don't have to build something from scratch. It was always the intention that you utilize this as the model for everything else you do going forward. So for any other assignments in this class that require you to have the APA format, you can simply open the template, do a file, save as, and then you're going to save it as the new document. In this case, as I mentioned, a great deal of what you wrote in your milestone one paper will be included in your project one paper. So what I'm going to put here is module 4 dash project 1. Okay, so that's the first thing. We're going to do a save as so that we're not overwriting the template. We are creating a whole new document. Okay, from there, you want to go ahead and you want to you want to change the template to reflect the assignment that you're working on. Okay, so done that. The next thing you want to do, now I don't have a real paper up here because I'm not writing the paper, but this template at this point should represent your work that you turned in module 2. Okay, so that is the document that you all are going to go. You're not going to overwrite that one. You're going to do a save as module 4 project 1 and then you can overwrite it. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go through and you're going to do a nice little introduction. Now maybe the introduction that you did in module 2 will work. What you will notice as you look at this and you go back to your module guidelines and rubric, as you scroll down and you read through this, you have new directives. Okay, so here is what you must address in your paper. These are all of the headers that you should be addressing in your paper. So when I said do a save as, because a lot of what you did in module 2 will be in this paper, this is where what I'm talking about. So, as you notice, your first header here on the old paper is turnover analysis. It is also the first header for the Project 1 paper. You have already analyzed the data, so you can utilize that. You've already done it. You've already graphed those things, so you can utilize that entire section that you already did in Milestone 1 in Project 1. Now let's move forward. Now you have a section called Job Description. So you have a section called Job Description on Project 1. So in this one, you've already created the job description to attract the matched talent. So you can utilize that because it's already in your milestone 1. That's why I said if you did this paper right the first time, it's going to be easy for you because a lot of the work is already done. You just now have to add to your recruitment and retention package. How? There's a part B to job description that wasn't there in milestone 2. In this, after the job description, now you're going to write a paragraph or two that address turnover reasons and strategies to attract diverse talent. This B part of B, strategies to attract diverse talent, is what's missing from module 2. So make sure that you address that. Okay, you're going to address the turnover reasons and strategies. So if you have already addressed these two things in Module 2, make sure that you address this. Add this to the paper. Okay, that's why I wanted you to do a save as. The next one is job advertisement posting. All right. So here in module 2, you had recruit diverse talent, job advertisement, and yet another section called recruit diverse talent, justification. So here you're kind of going to combine those and then you're going to add more information. My recommendation here is that you take out recruit diverse talent and just keep the header to align with this one, job advertisement, and you can put in parentheses, posting. I guess I have my caps on. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so you're going to change that. And then the next thing it's asking you to do is to develop a job advertisement, which you already did, to address the talent and address positive and negative attributes of the role. You've done this already, which is why I say if you have done milestone 1 properly, this is easy. And why I say for those of you who didn't get it into the proper format, do that before you start this project. Now you see why it's important that you get it into the proper format because now you can drop in those sections, okay? So when you're looking at your job advertisement and posting, you have two things here. So the first one you should have already addressed in milestone 2. Now you're going to explain how your advertisement will attract diverse talent pool through its use of language and description of the position. This is the additional information you're going to be adding to the paper. Okay, so I'm going to actually go ahead and delete this entire section here uh, because we don't need that anymore. All right, so you're going to keep what you had in the last paper for milestone 1, module 2, and you're going to be adding your explanation of how your advertisement will attract a diverse talent pool through its use of language and description of the position. This is what is new, unless you didn't do this part right the first time. That's why I keep saying make the recommended changes, get it into APA format for those of you who've not done that already. For those of you who have done it already, your job is simple. All you're going to do now is you're going to, and I'm just doing the paste special here just so I can maintain the format. What you're going to do now is you're going to explain that. So this is the addition. So as you're looking at um, project one, the thing that you want to make sure, for those of you who have already done this paper properly and in the APA format, the first time you did a save as, now it's your project one, and now you're making these revisions, you are going to really want to pay close attention to B, because for these first three criteria, B is the part you may need to add. I think for turnover analysis, you're all set. For job description and advertisement, B, you don't want to skip this portion, okay? You don't want to lose points because you didn't address that part of the rubric, all right? And then finally, you're going to be adding two new sections to your paper. And since you are using the old milestone one paper, you want to go ahead and add these new sections. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go down here and I'm just going to take this and I'm going to add it here and I'm going to overwrite it. Okay, so I'm going to add, copy and paste this because I just want the formatting, right? And then I'm going to overwrite this with the next section, which is interview questions, right? All right, so I'm going to overwrite this with interview questions. All right. And under this section, this is new because this was not on milestone one. Under this section, what you're going to do is you're going to write a statement where you develop at least two interview questions for selecting talents for the role, providing specific examples to support why these questions will be effective in determining if the candidate is a match. So there's two things you're doing here. You're writing two questions and you're going to provide specific examples as to why these two questions will be effective in determining if the candidate is a match. Don't just write the two questions because you don't want to lose points because you didn't provide the specific examples. Okay? And then you're going to add the next section. So again, you can do a copy paste. The next section is the memo. So I'm going to do memo. And there are specific things that need to be a part of your memo. And that's here, all spelled out for you in your assignment guidelines. So that is how you will write the memo. Now, I want you to keep it in the APA format, but just make sure that you address all of the elements here, everything that they want as a part of your memo. Make sure you're addressing all five of these things. Okay? So when you write your memo, make sure you're addressing these things, and that is going to complete your paper. One of the things I do want to note before I end this is that you need to create your reference sections based on the APA 7th edition. In the email that I sent to you yesterday on Monday, I provided you with links to how to find and cite your scholarly resources. Utilize that to do this reference section for those of you who need assistance in knowing how to put this together. It is expected that you do this because it is also a part of how you are evaluated. Okay? So when it tells you here what to submit, this is all going to be in one document, as you can see here. Okay? Do not submit more than one document. Submit one document and it's going to include all of this. Your turnover graph, which is this, your edited job description, which is that, your job advertisement with justification, and at least two interview questions, okay, with their justifications, and then memos. This here is just a very, very, very short way of saying this. When it comes to writing your paper, make sure that you are going by this when it comes to what you write in the body of your paper, okay? All they've done is really given a nice little short um, bulleted list here. But this is where you're going to have the meat and potatoes and how we will be evaluating your work, okay? Um, and then it tells you 3 to 5 pages in length. I don't want you to be nervous about this. Some of you have ads that are so graphic, you've gotten very creative. Some of you are creative with different things. Don't worry about the 3 to 5 pages. If yours goes over, that's fine. Turn in what you have. I do not deduct points if your paper is longer than 5 pages. Okay? Um, so just wanted to bring that to your attention. So that is this. The milestone one job description template. Again, this was only given to you here and in module 2 to help you put your job description together. You do not need to turn this in. What you need to do is make sure that the job description is embedded in your paper. Okay? And that's it. So this goes over how you are evaluated for each of the different criteria in your paper. And if you notice, these all correlate with the sections here. And that's why I wanted to make sure that I took the time to be more specific about when I say copy your old milestone one paper and do a save as project one and work from there. That is what I mean. All right. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. And I wish you all the best of luck as you put this one together. And I will talk to you soon.